There we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Yes. Thanks a lot for the invitation. I'm so happy to be there with you and to join your live stream. That's a great pleasure and honor for me to be there. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Close to Paris.
I forgot to activate my tone,
Oh,
but everybody could hear you. Um,
but not you.
I would just turn myself down a little because I have like compression for the other streams on here, so we are at the same volume level.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, once
There we
again,
go.
welcome to the
Yeah.
Hohner live stream number 23, together with Rachelle Plas from Paris.
Paris.
And yeah, now both of
Wow, I'm
us
so happy to
should
be
be here.
there. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the invitation. I'm very happy and honored to be there tonight and to
Nice.
join your live stream.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So, if you haven't heard about Rachelle to this point, you should at least like seen her on the packaging of the Hohner Golden Melody harmonica.
Yeah,
So if
that's
you bought
true.
one of those,
Mhm.
which I can really recommend, I love the Golden Melody harmonica,
Yeah, I know that.
and I think we can also talk about that.
Yes, of course.
Rachelle is on there for a reason, so I hope we can play some music later too,
Of
and
course.
just let us know if you have any questions. We both are reading the chat.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. So I just remember, I think we only met at like some harmonica festivals. Is that
Yes,
true?
I think.
I,
Yes, it's true.
I never really
I
thought
think I
about this,
remember.
and I think there are three.
Yes, I think to, and I think the first one was in Trossingen
Oh
in
no, it
Germany.
wasn't.
No, not the
There was
first
something
one.
before that because
Oh,
there was a small harmonica festival in the Netherlands,
yes, exact.
which was like
Yes, that's
my
true. It
worst
was
performance
at
ever.
Helmond. No, really,
Yeah,
no.
I remember. Like, I think that was the first time I heard about you.
Yes, I think it's the first time we met. It was the Harmonica Festival of Helmond. I don't know if I pronounce well, but it was
Yeah,
Helmund.
yeah,
And
organized by
I
Ben
remember.
Baumann.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And I remember this festival because it was difficult. I, I remember I came alone without my band, and it was a really difficult thing just to say hello to the new musicians,
That's
no
it. Yeah,
rehearsal, nothing, and we played all together on the stage on the night, and we had a great. It was wonderful because we had a great um, planning. Yes, it's all right planning time schedule, in fact, and we had some workshops before and after. There was several concerts. I don't remember how many concerts, but there was yours, there was mine, and I think
there was
over
also a
during all the
chromatic
day,
guy.
if I remember. Yeah.
I forgot his name. Tim Velvas. He was playing chromatic harmonica and
Well
also
done.
playing
I
chromatic
didn't remember that.
harmonica while playing keys, I think.
Yeah, okay.
And
Yes,
there
it
was
was the
kind of
really
a
first
jam, I
one.
think, in the end.
Yes. It was like because it's always difficult to just go somewhere and to say hello. Do you know my songs? No, we will do some blues things, standard things, and it's true that we didn't. I think we didn't play a lot of compositions those nights, but it was a really great moment.
Yeah.
And I remember it was the first time we've met, and it was the Golden Melody, our instrument, because we love the same harmonica. That's great. And I think we talked about the fact, yes, what are you doing and everything. And yeah, I'm from Germany with Hohner. Oh yes, I'm from France and Hohner too. Yes, that was great. And I remember after that, we met again at the Trossingen Harmonica Festival.
Yeah, that was
And
the
during that
second time, right?
second time. And during that time, I remember this experience I get and I kept. It's the experience of being a jury member You remember?
That was your first time
During
being a
the
jury
jazz,
member?
yeah,
Okay.
during the jazz and the blues competition, we had a lot of people, persons who really worked so well and coming and say, hello, I will play my stuff. And we were there just in front of us, and it was a strong experience.
Yeah, but like, yeah, at the same time, this can also be a nightmare, like judging. I
Ah,
think
yeah, it's
when I
difficult.
remember
So
these,
difficult.
some of the harmonica festivals in Asia, in South Korea, if you have to listen to like 60 harmonica orchestras in a row,
Ah, yeah, wow.
and we were so tired, it's like
Yeah.
you can't take it.
But I thought it's terrible during we were on the jury table. It was to have to get some notes because each person were worked so well and gave the best of themselves. So it's hard to say, okay, you're the first, second. It's not a competition. Music is not a competition.
Yeah,
But
that's why I
that's a
never
game.
competed in music. Did you ever participate in one of the
No.
harmonica competitions?
No, not
Yeah.
harmonica, but judo once.
Oh yeah.
Not harmonica, but judo, yes, a lot. I was in the French team of judo when I was after the child. You have the young adult, if I can say.
Yeah.
I don't remember the word in English. And I was in the French national team of judo, and I did some competitions everywhere. And after that, I get to the World Championships of judo in Morocco in 2010. 2010, oui, yeah, 2010, 2010, I think it's right.
Yeah.
I always have a problem to speak to say the number of years. It's difficult for me to traduce the number of
Oh
years.
yeah, like counting in French is like not that easy.
Alors, in French, it's 2000,
Oh
10,
yeah, that
2000,
I
10,
remember. It's so complicated.
2010. But it was just the only competitions I did was in judo.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I think you. So you
Never in music.
actually got like the vice championship thing, right?
Yeah, I didn't understand. Sorry.
So you were second,
Just repeat
right?
again. Yes, I was second. Yes, right. That's right. Yes.
So
Mm.
what I was thinking about, are you still doing judo like as a hobby, or did you like stop completely?
No, I stopped after because I just came back to my childhood club of judo a few times after the World Championships. But after that,
Okay.
I made a great a big break in the sport life because I had enough. In fact, and I was preparing my first CD, experimenting new things, and really invest myself in music, and because it was my life goal, in fact. And after that, I did sport again, but it was dancing.
Okay. So you're dancing right now.
Yeah. That's much more a girl sport, and that's much more fun. And today I prefer this because sport is became a hobby. Because in fact, with the time when I was a child, judo was a hobby, but after that, with competitions, it was much more serious than serious, time after time. And to a moment when you go to the world championships and decide to stop because you want to do your life and make your life in music and not judo, because I didn't feel the fact to become a teacher of judo, for example. So
Yeah.
in my head it was clear, I wish to make my life in music, because music you can practice all your life but not the sport. And instead, and much more in judo, it's a really hard sport, really with a lot of impact, physical impacts. So it was clear in my head. And after that, I I do the circle, and I turn back to my sport hobbies with dancing.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. I mean, that I think always about like a great analogy that Bela Fleck told at some point in a video with Howard Levy, and he said like,
Mm.
I mean, you have a limited amount of water to like shower your plants in the garden, and you just gotta decide like which flower you want to shower. So
Yeah.
I like that thought. So I think you started
Okay.
out playing harmonica very early on.
Yeah.
And if you remember like learning the instrument, is there any beginner tip that was like changed a
I
lot for you, which you can share with the
uh,
people watching?
uh, a beginner tip I did myself when I was a young girl. Yes, I remember when I started harmonica, I was 5, and it's the fault of Christmas.
Mm.
Daddy Christmas who coming in this chimney. No, truly, it's a joke. My parents, I think, they thought that harmonica may be something new for me, and they founded a small book for childs with some animals on it, with some songs, French songs, and international standards as Amazing Grace, Oh and the Saints, and I think the after that I take really the I fell in love with the instrument because I started and never wished to stop. So before harmonica, I played a little bit of flute, and this one, you know, the flute, which is
Yeah.
here, and the chromatic one here. And in fact, after that, I discovered the harmonica, and what the thing which was in plus regarding as the flute, for example, it's the improvisation, the creation you already at the through beginning you have in harmonica instruments. That's absolutely amazing, because without knowing any piece of music you can play this instrument, and in the same time you need a huge work to start playing mm, some songs, in fact, because you have the ones who can be played without bendings, the one who can be played with the first bendings, and after you, if you want to play whatever you want, it's a really a huge technical work. So the first song was "Oh Susanna," "Oh and the Saints," "Amazing Grace." So, for example, to start, maybe the best thing is to play "Oh Susanna." It's the small little music you can play alone and play to your family and friends after. Oh yes, listen to me. I play "Oh Susanna" to the harmonica. So those are the first one, and I remember when I'm talking to you that there was some gospel things to or Happy Day, something like that. It was really a small book, and
Okay.
after that, it was some more classical uh, learning books of harmonica. But I think, for example, to just make your first thing to harmonica, it's the much more um, how to say, it's terrible. I'm always searching my words in English.
You can
And
just use the French one, or maybe someone can help you in the chat.
ah, why not? So oui, alors si je fais un petit mot en français pour nos francophones qui nous écoutent, c'est vraiment quand on commence l'harmonica, ça serait par exemple jouer au Susanna, et c'est vraiment la chanson la plus rigolote. Voilà, le mot rigolote, rigolo en anglais. J'ai mon dictionnaire en spare si jamais il faut. I have my dictionary here if I need. So it's not just the fact of smiling and have a really good feeling when you are playing some new harmonica song, even if you know the song before and you already heard it. So for example, some really simple things, or when the
Yeah.
saints, why not?
Did you
That's
play that
easy,
with
and
tongue
that's
blocking?
really not the second one, the
Mm,
first one,
okay.
yes.
So that's like one of my questions. Like, did you start out with tongue blocking early on, or did you learn that later?
I learned that later.
Okay.
I started with single notes because, in fact, it's my mother who accompanied me in the first walks with the harmonica and the harmonica books. So my parents were not some musicians and not harmonica players, of course, so they didn't know that. And in fact, in the books, there are some things explained. But at this moment, we didn't have all we have today on the internet: videos, lessons,
Yeah, especially now it's
just
like the
live,
best time
say
to
hello.
learn anything.
Yeah, of course, because in fact we just had the paper in the eyes and we didn't understood what's happening with bendings, what's happening with tongue blocking. What is that? Yes, that's explained here, but I didn't really understand what it makes. In fact, because you don't have the person in front of you who explain. And so the tongue blocking was a technique I didn't understood at first. So I just put this on the side, and at the first beginning, I played only on single notes, and the goal was to make the melody as best as possible with only what I could do. So at the first beginning, during some, I think around 4 years, I didn't know how to play a bending. And it's only yes, and it was strange because I started to play some hardest melodies, and there was some bending on the paper and on the sound, but I didn't understood what's happening in fact in the real life. And it's only at the moment where I started at 8 years old, I came to the school of harmonica in Paris. And at
Okay.
this moment, for the first time, I've met my teacher. At this moment, it was Greg's lab. I think you know him too.
Who
And
will be on stream in 2 weeks?
yeah, great. He's so
I think
nice.
I haven't tell you.
And
But yeah.
yeah, of course, with pleasure. And in fact, at this moment, for the first lesson, he came with a song, of course. All the the pupils was here, and I was there and listened to him. And okay, we have a tab, and there is a band. Okay, how do we do that? Ah, that's what I didn't understand for years before. Okay, that's it. So I
Okay.
came back home with my harmonica and worked on the band until it worked, because it was so exciting to discover the new stuff. But in fact, at the first beginning, even if there were some bendings, I didn't play it because I didn't know what it was. So in fact, it was just a work on the time, to play on the good time, to play with the good power, more stronger or
Yeah.
more gently, and all those nuances. You can make the analogy with the playing of flute or other instruments. So I discovered harmonica really like that, and when I came at the School of Harmonica in Paris, I discovered the bendings, the new songs, the blues, the
So you bended your
the
notes at the age of 8?
yes,
Wow.
yes, for the first time,
That's
because
very early.
that I don't know. I was a little girl in a pub, because the school is in a pub. So my parents came in the dark piece with a stage at the far in the room, and there was a table with 20 persons, and the teacher here, and say, okay, now we have to learn harmonica. So that was so great.
Okay. So Tina is
And
asking, were you angry that like the notes were missing, like the bending
yeah,
notes?
no, I wasn't angry, but it was frustrating because I didn't understood what happening. It was really strange because when even if I read the books, you can't know it if you didn't see someone do it in front of you, in fact. And when
Okay.
I
Yeah.
saw the harmonica players who already know the technique, I say, wow, what's happening here? What are they doing in that hole? There is 2 or 3 notes there. That's what was written here, that I didn't have the conscience, in fact. And at this moment, I played the melody not easily, but I played that, but not with the bands. So when there was a band, I played the natural notes because I didn't know how to do.
Yeah.
That was the story. And after, little by little, I've understood what's happened.
I mean, that's amazing that there's like a harmonica school, like actually like a physical school in Paris.
Yeah.
So is that still existing?
Um, I don't know for today, but I know that for years after I quit the school I quit the school at 14, and after I learned to sing and did other things, and at this moment there were other teachers because Greg was participating to the tour of Johnny Holiday, so he was really busy, and
Yeah.
there were some other teachers who came and um, organizing themselves to get the school, but depending of their possibilities. So I don't know if today it's always working, but I know that few years ago it was good also.
That's interesting. I mean, I think like also the only city where there's like a real harmonica school where you can go to here in Germany is in Berlin by
Ah,
Marko Jovanovic. Have you heard about him?
yes, of course, yes, yes, we've met
Yeah, he's
all
leading the
at the
school.
Harmonica Festival. Great, so
Yeah.
nice.
Ingo is asking if you customize your gold melodies.
No,
Not at
they
all.
are out of the box.
Okay.
In fact, the only thing I do is, the gap, the little space between the middle and the reeds. I, if I feel when I'm playing that is too big, I just open this and put with my fingers only a little pressure on the reeds to make them closer,
Yeah.
and it's the only thing I do, in fact.
Mm.
After, I prefer harmonicas when they are played a little bit, because when they are just out of the box, they are really, um, how to say, brillant. Comment on dit brillant? They are really
Very
aggressive.
bright.
Yes,
Okay.
bright, bright. Yes, good. Congratulations. You speak French too. Great.
Non,
Uh,
j'ai appris le français à l'école, mais j'ai oublié tout.
ah bah non, tu parles très bien. Bravo.
That's the only sentence I can.
And so the harmonica is much more bright, and I love them when they're a little bit played. So I need a little week to make them sound as I wish. And
I
the
can
reeds
totally
are,
understand.
yeah, and the reeds are reacting differently when you take the harmonica out of the box and when you are starting to play. For example, I love to start playing harmonica with some kind of skills and of stuff. Some little phrases to test, in fact, the reeds and the harmonica, to be sure that all the reeds are making what I want them to do in the moment.
Yeah.
And for example, and for the overblows, I force them when the harmonica is coming out of the box. I force a little bit them, because in fact the reeds are not played. So you need to play the harmonica before making it good to record or to go on stage. I
Yeah, I
think
mean, I think that's like especially
only.
the case with I mean, also with like a regular gold melody and the plastic comb, but it's even more the case if you have like a harmonica with a wooden comb. Like if you start to play it and there's like some saliva going in there and it's drying, that's actually a good thing because like everything like is way more airtight afterwards.
Mm.
So yeah,
For the wood harmonicas, I have a problem with them. It's for the lips. It's really aggressive for me, and I know that the kind of harmonica you choose is really a personal thing, because it's depending on the quality of the harmonica. Not the quality, the specialty the instrument have. For example, the golden melody is closed here on the sides,
thank
and
God.
for me the advantage is to lose less air, in fact. So
Yeah,
for my kind of play, I prefer this much more all overs. And when I was a child, when I met the golden melody, I never played on another harmonica, never, because it was really the and golden melody have another specialty, is you know, the holes here, the holes are a little bit like not a real thing like that, a little bit more like this, thinner. And
Yeah.
I think for the speed, it's good. For me, I like that. But I know that each person you will have, each player you will have some different preferences, because I think it's physic, in fact,
Yeah.
and it's depending also of the power of air you use, your breath, your kind of. I know that I breathe really gently in the instrument, so golden melody is perfect for me. But if you have the habit, the use to to play a little bit louder with much more air, maybe you will prefer a wood uh, a wood harmonica.
Yeah. I think also like if you want to get into melodic playing and you like very like you don't want to set your harmonica up too much, I think the golden melody is very easy to set up just by gapping.
Yeah.
They are like really good at instruments afterwards.
Mm.
Um,
Yes, that's true.
there are a lot of questions coming in. Oh,
Great.
Patrice wrote that Alexandre Tollon manages the harmonica school right now.
Ah, great. So well.
I
Okay,
didn't know
Patrice
about that.
noticed. Hello, Patrice. How are you?
Uh,
Yes, he's saying, explaining that the School of Harmonica in Paris is following. Ça continue. Comment dire? Pourquoi ça
yeah,
m'échappe? And Alexandre Tollon is the actual teacher of this harmonica school in Paris.
nice. Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he's great.
Colored is asking, my question would be if you use the term musique à bouche for harmonica music.
Ah, musique à bouche. No, I don't use that.
What's
But
musique à bouche? I don't know what's bouche.
okay, bouche, that's it. The mouth.
Okay. Mm.
Musique à bouche because the harmonica is playing with the mouth, in fact. But it's an expression, yes, musique à bouche, or it's existing too for the mouth
Ah, okay.
organ. But it's the traduction would be mouth organ. But in fact, in the current language, French language, we don't use that.
Okay.
But it's a special expression, really nice.
Tina from Sweden is asking, do you have any tips for working on your tone when you are a beginner?
On your tone is the fact to make the notes right and clear. Yes, for example, when I've learned harmonica, there were a lot of exercise like that to work on your tone and try to make the notes as clear as possible. For example, if I take the 2 and 3, okay, the goal is really to feel when you are good and when you aren't, in fact. Okay, and the key for that for me is the articulation, because in fact it's because of the articulation you will have the right notes. If you just, that's not good in my in my sense.
Yeah.
Because you will have the whole power on what you are playing. If you
That's so
forget the
important for the bendings.
articulation,
Yeah.
yeah, if you forget the articulation, you will have some problems to rule the things. And for example, on the free, it's much more difficult because you have three bands in the same hole when you are drawing. That's extraordinary thing. So my exercise would be to try to, for example, in the three, and you work on it every day, and it's not a work for just a moment. It's a work for a long, very long moment, and you have to think that you won't arrive to make it nice and clear just at the first time. But if you make it 5 minutes every day, you will see that the year after you will have much more facilities.
Yeah.
And
That's important for the bendings.
yeah, and if she needs some help, You can, for example, use on the phone. You have some great apps for tuning, and you can just look at your tuner when you are playing and say, okay, what is this note? Okay, oh, I'm here. That's
Yeah.
a nice thing to have a look on it sometimes.
Yeah, it's so important to articulate your bendings. Please articulate your bendings.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, that's
Everything
very
is
fast.
real.
I
Yeah, because
remember
after
listening to a
it's
clip
natural.
online. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, if you slow it down, it's like not entirely correct, but that's like the fastest playing of all the three whole bands, which was on the website of Sébastien Charlier.
Yes, of course. Yes,
He was like
that's
very,
great.
very fast with that, very
Yeah, of
articulate.
course. Yeah, as I know Sebastian, he's a great player. That's great. Yes, he plays very fast, and his style is very jazz. In fact, is really his stuff, and he plays very fast,
Yeah, it's like
and with
jazz
all the
fusion
techniques and stuff.
stuff. If you were into
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
I mean, one exercise I show my students is, so I'm always skipping one note,
Ooh,
which
nice.
is a good thing too. And
But
also
you play
maybe
fast too.
that was not too fast, right?
No,
I th-
not here. But excuse me, just I wish to say, but you also you play fast too, in general
sometimes,
way. Yeah.
sometimes, yeah. I think there are like different ways of playing fast on the harmonica.
Hmm?
Like I mean, playing fast like John Popper, playing fast like Sugar Blue, playing fast like Jason Ritchie. These are like different
Yeah.
styles of playing fast, I would say.
Yes, of course. That's
So
great.
yeah, it's just like a weird thing with the harmonica because like if you play saxophone or something like that, you basically can press down like the holes or close them,
Hmm.
and the note just comes out. With this, we have to prepare and like, oh no, that's a bending. Oh no, that's an overblow.
But after you even don't think about it when you are playing. In fact, when we are explaining, we are trying to make it as clear as possible to explain as best as we can. But in fact, when you in the real playing of harmonica, for my part, I even don't think about it. I don't
Yeah,
think, yes, I will play an overblow or anything. No, I hear
yeah,
the
of
note in my
course.
head and I go to search it on the harmonica, and everything is making really naturally. But in fact, I think it's the repetition of what you did for years who is giving the possibility to just let your mind go, and your harmonica is making the rest.
Yeah, and in the end, it's like a muscle thing. But if you want to play something like, I don't know, like
You have to think about it.
more abstract intervalistic playing. I mean, that's easy on the saxophone. It's the hardest
Yeah,
thing on the
yeah,
harmonica. Yeah.
that's true.
So there are some advantages of playing harmonica and some disadvantages. There's Pablo Montenegro asking, do you use pedals or other effects to play?
No. No, in fact, on stage, I don't use any effects. I just play in the singer microphone. My voice make this one, in fact, and I just play in the vocal microphone. And it's true that in harmonica you have some effects to make. That's true, it's not the same at all, but you can do a little simulation of different styles of play. I will play it just as a few seconds just to explain, because for example you have the clear and natural sound, and you have the really crunchy style, and you can make it much more overdrive, if I can say. And play it one to another, and that's what I can do with the vocal microphone, and that's really my kind of play. But after I tried to play with some amps, for example, and I love to play with amps when I'm in studio recording in studio, because
Okay.
the stage work and the studio work are two different stuff, really completely different, and you don't have the same result on stage than when you are playing in a studio for your records. You don't need the same things. And in studio, I love to put the microphone on an amp and take just the sound of the amp. That's really great, and you can have in studio the really the effect sound, and that's really interesting, I think. But it's true that on stage I didn't find my I'm not happy with an amp, because I sing and I play in the same time. So in the same microphone, that's perfect, because I can change between the vocals and the harmonica playing as fast as I want, in fact. And I
Yeah,
don't
and
have
also you're
the
like
material
flexible on
just
stage, like.
like a ring. We will need to get a microphone like a ring here in Bluetooth connection just for the harmonica and playing and singing our vocal microphone. But I don't have this for the moment. I didn't find a great system, because I had two microphones
Hmm.
on stage already. But it's true that you have one mic to sing in one hand and the other one to play in the other hand. So to look much more mix in on stage, that's difficult.
Yeah, and you're
So
more flexible on stage. Like you can walk over the stage like
yeah,
without
exactly.
thinking about, oh no, I gotta go back to the other microphone to sing the next verse.
I
Like,
No, that's not for me. I can't.
yeah.
That's
But
not
yeah, that's
my
beautiful. I mean, the harmonica, we have like so many like natural effects coming from the instrument, and like just playing acoustically, like people know that it's like the effect is coming from you, right?
Yes,
And not like from
that's true.
some weird technical.
Yes, but I love the technical things too. It's not. I
Yeah,
don't
have you ever
think there
tried
is
some effect pedals with harmonica?
some guitar pedals.
Okay.
Yes, I love the reverb, the delays, thing like that. But
Yeah.
after on the overdrive, it's true that I'm a little bit less happy with those, because I don't feel my sound. I feel like if I was losing a little bit of my sound, and I love all the nuances you can play with the acoustic one. And I have the
Yeah.
feeling that sometimes if I take some pedals effects, I will lose a little bit in during the road. So it's like a
Yeah.
kind of compromise. And for the stage work, I prefer really making it acoustic. And on studio, that's different. You have the time to play it one time, to listen, to say, okay, I will change just one thing, and make just another stuff, and to make some experiences. So after you can choose what you prefer, and really build something else.
Yeah. I mean, I think like when I play with my jazz quartet, I used to use a lot of harmonica, like, or like guitar effect pedals.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, when I'm playing acoustically, I'm also like just very happy to have the freedom and also have like my hands free and do like hand effects and stuff. Um,
Yeah, that's
what
true.
I saw earlier when you played that little scalar thing, was your jaw moving, like adding like a little, basically a jaw vibrato. I wanted to ask you about that. For the people, like which kind of vibratos are you using? Like even on the natural notes, you had that little movement in there. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I
the
was
vibrato.
referring to.
That's
Like
good
just
stuff.
playing like sixth blow, for example. This is a C.
Oh, sorry. It's an A. That's why.
Yeah,
In
can you
my sense,
tell us what you do there?
yeah. Kind of vibratos. You have blues one with the throat. That's really the most well known. And the one you asked is for me the mouth one. Yeah, 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 yeah. In fact, it's like if you were chewing a chewing gum. I love my jokes. I imagine you are chewing a chewing gum and play the sixth blow, and you will have the vibrato. And in fact, it's just to say yo, and you have the really the rhythm of the vibrato and everything, and you can choose the speed, the intensity. You can blow louder or smaller or gently, and always articulation. For me, my play is based on articulations, so that's yeah, really. And if you use that, you will have the it's true that when I'm playing, I don't know if you feel it like that. It will be a great question from me to you. And in fact, when I'm playing harmonica, often the tongue position is really important, and I have like a kind of tendance. Some my way is
Tendency.
more to tendency. Yes, thank you. Is to make it really with the the the, um, the tongue behind the incisors here, really close to the air, in fact, and you feel the fact to push the air out or to make it sound in your mouth and with the air turning in your palate. In fact, you have two possibilities: you expulse the air to make sound the note with the impact, or you are keeping the notes a little bit then making them out. I don't know if you feel this like that, but in my kind of play, it's really the explanation I can have to just make the differences and put words on the feelings I can have when I'm playing. This is much more turning, it's bigger. And after, when I play what you just showed me just before, it's really small. In fact, it's just here in the mouth. It's not turning in my cheeks here. It's just pushing out. And you have
and also
to
it's like a higher note, and then if you want to gain like more control over the wheat,
yeah,
you got to do it like further in front of your mouth and do it with your tongue.
yeah, exactly. And you have to control and everything. In fact, everything is controllable. And in fact, it's like if you were searching to bend a little bit the note you don't have to bend, in fact.
Yeah, that's interesting. So the last, the other thing is, how about the bendings? Which type of vibrato are you using on bended notes?
The same.
Okay.
It's the yeah. In fact, for example, it's the same principle, but you are in the position of bending. So your tongue is behind your incisors here, and pushing the back of your tongue is pushing on your palate, and you stay like this to keep the bend, but you are moving a little bit to make the vibrato. And the vibrato is in fact the fact to tune and detune a little bit the note. In fact, the note is moving like a wave, and you are searching to keep the principal note uh, in front. And the other is just to make the effect. So in fact, it's feeling like that. And if I do it really, really slowly, that means that's it.
Yeah.
You pass
That's
to
what it
one band to
would sound
another,
like
and
if you slowed it down.
yeah.
The funny thing, like on a 6/0 blow, if you do that like with too much strength, or like a lot of like change of pitch, you're like basically in front of playing an overblow, right?
You are really close. In fact, yes,
Yeah,
it's the same for the high notes. You are
exactly.
almost bending when you are making your vibrato. And you can do it in drawing. And often the vibrato is coming after the bend. In fact, for example, on the high notes, you finish the note with the bending, with the vibrato, in fact, but you
Yeah.
start it with the bend often when we are playing.
That's true. Yeah, don't always start out your notes with vibrato.
You
Start them
can't.
out like very,
Yeah,
very, very straight, and then start to add a little vibrato in the end. That's very beautiful sometimes.
yeah, and you can really choose the moment where you make the vibrato. In fact, you always start the note basically, and
Yeah.
after you bring the vibrato to make something or another.
And if you play something melodic, like this is like the more tasteful version of the vibrato, instead of like having that big blues vibrato. You don't always want to have that if you play a beautiful melody.
Yeah,
So
for
there's
sure.
a few more questions coming in. So let's see. I mean, I think you already answered this one. Are you a studio musician? Sometimes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would say.
Oh, often,
Often,
often.
yeah.
My work is in studio is not the same that the other ones, but in my life it's almost 50-50. Not
Okay.
it that's I don't have the time to pass in my studio as much as I would wish, but because we have a lot of things to do around to communicate, to say hello, yes, we are making those new things, to make the videos, because I think that, like you, we are some artists who are making all by ourselves with a small team around, and sometimes some help from persons or others, but it's true
Yeah.
that we do the bigger part by ourselves, so it's taking a lot of time. And but in fact, the work in studio, I love the work in studio. It's really interesting, and it's not the same thing. The work is in studio is much more precise. You need much more precision to play in studio
That's
than on
true.
stage. It's not the same thing at all. But in my ideal, it's really 50-50. I would spend some time in my week to make some new songs, record some stuff for myself just, or to publish other things. And the other side of the of the week, it will be some work on stage, concerts, and meetings, workshops,
Yeah.
videos, live streams. you
Yeah,
know?
especially now because I mean you also started to do the like a daily live stream.
Yeah, with Hohner, absolutely, yes.
And
And
that's on Facebook every day.
yeah, Facebook every day, and it's really a big chance. And I was so happy to make those meetings, because it's the moment to talk about harmonica. It's the moment we have with people to answer to questions too, and to talk about what are they doing with harmonica. And I also make during the lockdown, we had the time to make some new songs. And on my website, on the main page, you have, for example, the songs we did for the lockdown. And with Philippe Hervouet, we composed some, and he plays some guitar and I put the harmonica on, and we recorded this with our desk computers, with an horrible sound and everything, but because we didn't had our materials. But it was really a great thing, because it's the moment for the harmonica players to work on their instruments and learn new things. And it's a great moment. We had a really smiling moment we had every day, and we are keeping every day again, because in fact the real life is coming a little bit much more. But for
Yeah.
music, it's always difficult. We can't make some events for, I think, a few months, maybe this summer a little bit. For the 15th of July, I think we will open some little things, but we have to wait again and again. So the time is really long for us, because we used to go on stage to meet people, to make workshops, to make festivals, and we had a lot of things, events scheduled this summer, and for you, for me, for us, for all the artists. So it's really a difficult period, and those lives are the moment to keep a relationship with everybody, and that's really nice, I think.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
the
great
moment to
opportunity.
improvise,
So if you can
to
speak
make
French, check out the live stream of Rachelle on Facebook.
Yeah,
And
of
also
course.
your songs, I think, to everybody who's watching, you can check out the description box below, and I put like every link to your like Instagram and Facebook and stuff,
Okay. Great.
so people can check
Yes.
everything out.
I can. Okay, so I will just share my website, because on my website you have some little images at the top of the page, and you can just click on Facebook link, click on Instagram, click on everything. So
Oh
maybe
yeah,
it's easier.
true. I gotta reset some audio setting real quick. Give me a second.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, okay, should be fine again. Can you hear me again?
Yes, I hear
Okay,
you, but not
yeah,
the music.
perfect. Everything's fine now.
Okay.
There are a few more questions. There's a French one, maybe. I don't know
Hmm?
if that's a question. Peux-tu réexpliquer comment tu fais ce gapping et testant l'instrument?
Oui, c'est dans l'instrument. En fait, the question is for the rule of the gap. When I push the reeds, how to know what's happening here? So I answer in French. En fait, quand on enlève les capots de l'instrument, donc les parties métalliques avec les deux petites vis qui se situent ici, eh bien, on se rend compte qu'il y a d'un côté les lamelles apparentes qui sont les lamelles aspirées et de l'autre côté les lamelles soufflées. Et en fait, il suffit d'appuyer un petit peu sur les lamelles aspirées et de mettre un genre de cure-dent, un petit tournevis dans l'instrument pour remonter les lamelles soufflées. Et en fait, il faut laisser à peu près 1 millimètre, on va dire, d'espace. C'est vraiment très fin. Il faut essayer de sentir aussi suivant son jeu. Il faut essayer, il faut tester en direct pour voir si ça nous va. Donc moi, c'est vraiment comme ça que je fais. Donc voilà, j'espère que ça va pouvoir t'éclairer. So I traduce in English a little bit. In fact, I was saying that if you put off those metal parts who are grabbed here with the vis, mais je ne sais pas comment on dit vis. I don't know how to say vis in English. You keep the reeds. The drawing reeds are you can see them here, but the other ones who are hidden are the blowing reeds. And in fact, you just have to push with your fingers on the drawing, those who are that you can see here, and you just let 1 millimeter. I think it's really a small space, but just enough to permit your instrument to vibrate when you are blowing or drawing, because if you push too much, it will block the reed. So it's just a sensation. You have to make your own tests during the moment you are
It's a
doing
lot of
this on
testing,
your
that's true.
instrument. Yes, and in fact, for the others, you put like a kind of I don't know how to say in English. That's terrible.
Oh
To
yeah, I
don't
have
have
this
some
little Hohner
techniques
tool.
words like this. Yes, that's great. That's it.
That's the thing you want to get.
Yes, that's the thing I want to I want to use. And you put it in your instrument and you just push a little bit up, and you will approach the reeds and just stay with a little space.
Yeah.
1 millimeter, I think, something like that.
Ingo is asking, do you consider yourself nowadays more as a harmonica player, singer, or both?
Both. I'm a
That's an
singer who
easy
plays
question.
harmonica. Yeah, no, that's true. No, it's really interesting. It's a question persons can ask me a lot. For example, some persons working in the music industry are just asking themselves, but what she is doing, singer, harmonica player, both, one more than another. But no, in fact, it's really the same. And and I think you are agree with me, but harmonica is a second voice. In fact, that's your own voice who is just breathing and not singing, but in fact your harmonica is singing too. So when you are singing and when you are playing harmonica, is really a close practice. It's not exactly the same, but it's the
Yeah.
same place in music, in fact. So for me it's 50-50, the same.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's very, very similar in that it is like very, very personal, and like the harmonica is just like lengthening you as an instrument. But
Yeah.
the technique is a little different, like between like playing harmonica and singing. I mean,
Yeah,
at least I
sure.
noticed because I took like some singing lessons,
Yeah.
and I got to take care of like not like, yeah, just having too much air coming out of my mouth. Like you want to keep that inside and like vibrating.
Mm.
And I'm used to like getting the air out as a harmonica player, from the blow notes. Yeah. Frank wants to know which autographs I have on my cap. It's a hip hop duo, a German hip hop duo from Cologne, friends of mine. um, what else? There's a question by Antje. Um, do you still practice scales or something like that on your own, or do you only play together with your band? That's a weird
Ah,
one, but
that's
yeah. Do you
interesting
practice
question.
scales? That's the first
No.
question.
At yes, when I was learning the harmonica, but now for years no. In fact, I'm working on my songs and I'm working on creations, but I'm
Yeah.
working on the scales when I'm needing. I mean that, for example, um, um, Philippe Hervouet is playing some Celtic French songs. He's singing French and he's playing Celtic music. And when I accompany him on his songs and when I'm recording, for example, a Celtic riff he's playing on his guitar, I really have to work on it because it's difficult to play on the harmonica. The harmonica is not made for this, so you really have to work on it and
Yeah.
to have a reflection time on the music you will have to play on stage or in studio. So it's always linked to the work I have to do on stage or in studio. It's always linked. But so I can say I just working on scales. No, at the beginning, yes, you work on scales because you have to learn some basics. But after, in my sense today, when I'm working harmonica, I'm still working on my harmonica, working the instrument, working on the sound, working on the speed, the articulations, the melody, the precision, everything, but not with the same way. That I mean that now my work is creation. So I
Yeah.
will, for example, record myself and play something. I say stop. Oh yes, I liked what I play. Okay, I will start with that because I was improvising in my world, in my dreams, and when I'm playing like that, I say, oh, it was nice. Maybe that could be the start of a new song. Who knows? So it's my my work today. That's it, in fact. And after, when I need to push the thing a little bit uh, um, precise and a little bit more, yes, I work everything I have to work for sure. It's
Yeah.
I think we are all working our instrument for every times because it's a life learning way, in fact.
Yeah.
For example, if I can play you an example, when I did the song
Of course.
Cyclone,
People want to hear you play.
for sure, with pleasure. I love that. I love playing. You know, the when I was a girl, I played harmonica because it was fun. And today I continue to play harmonica because it's much more fun. So that's
Okay.
great. I'm happy. Okay, so for example, Cyclone Zai is a new song from the new album, and the melodic theme on the harmonica, it it's not so easy. So at the beginning, I just took what my ideas were and I worked on it. That's natural, in fact. And after, when you are playing with your friends, with your band, yes, you're making some rehearsals with the friends, but in fact, you continue to work. So, to really answer the questions, yes, I continue to work on scale, but by the way I describe it, and yes, I work on harmonica, playing with my band every day, everywhere, because in fact in concert we are much more improvising. They are the songs, the same way we are singing. In fact, it's for Cyclone, for example, the melody I talked about.
Yeah.
example, so it was really a
Nice.
kind of big theme like that, and it was like a song close to the song because that a light in my heart keeping me out of the dark like a phoenix I'll fly with my fire wings.
I
Okay, the
heard that
singing
song.
part, that's great.
I remember.
And you have the melodic for harmonica, and I always love to get a special place to harmonica. Of course, that's natural because that's my instrument, but on stage it's true that we are improvising a lot, and after the song things we have big parts for solo improvisations. And
Yeah.
the vocals part is running
It's
over.
so
Yeah.
funny. I think like if I closed my eyes, I could tell for sure that it's you playing. Like maybe even
Yeah.
just like hearing your throat vibrato on the 3/4 half step band. I think nobody sounds like that on that note.
Oh wow, that's great. Thank you so much.
I mean that's a good thing, like to be
That's a huge
recognizable.
compliment. Thanks a lot.
um Another thing that might be, I mean, probably most probably it's like different all the time, but like if you're writing a song, um do you start out with the harmonica, or is it often just the case that you're sitting down with your guitar writing lyrics and then afterwards, how could I like get the harmonica in there?
For example, for Cyclone, I started by the harmonica, and
Okay.
after I developed everything. For example, for other songs, it's the inverse. For example, I played Flowers a lot on the live streams. It's a new song I did, and it's the first one I played by myself on the guitar and vocals in the same time because guitar is not at all my instrument, and it's just a way for me to help me compose the things. And harmonica is a soloist instrument, not an you can't accompany yourself really to make some songs with your harmonica. It's
Yeah.
much more easier with a guitar, so that's another thing. But in fact, for example, I can start by the vocal part. For Flowers, it was the chorus, go on, go on, go on, and it started like that. And after I make the couplet, comment on dit en anglais le couplet? Couplet. How to say? I don't know how to say the main part of the song in English. I don't know. I describe when
I don't
I
know,
don't know.
the hook.
Yeah. But and after you start by the chorus or you start by harmonica part, but sometimes you just start by a riff of guitar. For example, Everything Is All About You on the album is a riff, a guitar riff from Philip, and he told to me one day, "Yes, I have this. What do you think about this?" "Yes, I love that." "Okay, I will make the melody on it." And I started by the vocals, and I played the harmonica riff with his guitar for sure. For example, it was that. Just let me find my. That's it.
Great.
So the ways are, in fact, in music, I think we are really free. So there is not some rules. You can start by a little bit of harmonica. And it's improvisation. I don't know what it is, but if I keep this and I make a song, I will say, okay, after I will search for the vocal parts. Okay, so what can we make? No, 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 and it's starting like that. And I take the guitar and say, okay, what we can do with this, just to try to do a monster. You know, you start to record with just some few ideas, and after you go back on it few days after, and
And
you
you
keep your
hate it
mind
completely.
working in your head is completely and you are excited of that because you are it's always funny to find some new ideas and new songs and new stuffs. It's great. Creation is really one of the great reasons, inconscient reasons I had when I was a little girl, to keep only harmonica as a main instrument. In fact, is the freedom harmonica offers, which is really amazing.
Yeah, it's just a great feeling to play the instrument too. Yeah.
Hmm?
So, I mean, we already reached like the 1 hour, but there are some questions left. Um,
Yeah.
let me see if I can read this. There's Alejandro Lopez Garcia asking, "How do you stop lips from drying out?"
Trying out. What that
So
means,
not getting
trying
stuck
out?
on the harmonica when moving.
Ah, okay. You have to put your like that. I don't know how to say it in English. That's terrible. I have to work my dictionary.
Yeah,
No, if I well understood, the question is how to don't be blocked when you are playing because
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
difficult to go on it. Yes, it's really your lips have to be some to get some water, hydration. You know, hydration.
yeah,
Like for the skin, you have to really and after you can start to play. Not too much. It not you don't have to. It's just a little bit of dry, good. But I think maybe I know that on the plastic ones, it's you don't need so much. Um, Let me 1 second. I will find it.
saliva is.
It's yes, saliva. Yes, that's it. Thank you so much. And so you need less saliva that on wood ones, for example, because the wood is aspirating your saliva you're putting. So that's one of the reasons I prefer plastic because my lips don't like the wood. It's a little bit more harder for me. But after it's a personal feeling. I know some other persons who are hating the plastic because it's too
Yeah,
small, in fact, and so it's really a personal impression.
yeah. I mean, if I start to play out of nothing, I would definitely like lick my lips like once very quickly right before I put
Yeah,
it in my mouth. Like you can
yeah,
see that in like every video, I think. And
yeah.
there's at the
Exactly,
same
I do the
time,
same. Mm,
what we do is like we want to like get in touch with harmonica with the inner, like
mm,
not the dry parts of our lips, but like the inner part of our
yeah,
lips.
yeah. It's
So
exactly the same thing.
then it won't be too big of a problem. Um, okay, there's like one French question left. Peux-tu expliquer ta technique de tongue blocking? Merci d'avance. J'apprécie beaucoup ton jeu et les onces que tu as. Bravo.
Merci beaucoup.
I did
C'est génial.
understand at least.
So, but you pronounce very well. Here, my technique of tongue blocking. Uh, that's a huge subject. In
Oh
fact,
yeah.
I'm always changing. It's single notes, tongue blocking when I need. Single notes, tongue blocking when I need. My basis is single notes, so I really use tongue blocking like an effect or a need. For me, when I switch on tongue blocking, it's because I need it for rhythmic,
Yeah,
for
same
octave,
for me.
for effects, and because my play is based on the signal notes. For example, and it permits me to make some rhythmic side a little bit inside. For example, if I keep my phrase here, it's a really simple example. And in fact, fact, how to explain really clearly? The tongue blocking is really blocking. You block the 2 and 3, for example, and you blow on the 4. And your tongue is tapping on your harmonica like that to make the chord, then single note, then chord, then single note, the way you wish. And the speed you will adapt to what you have to play. The
Yeah.
difficulty is here, to switch between and to choose the good kind of play, regarding on what you are thinking, um, for your playing. So your mind is giving you some orders or ideas, if I can say, and your harmonica has to play the good things. So your mouth has to play and make the good choices. And I think everything is a history of choices. In one um, 100 part of second, I don't know, really 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 short time, you have to decide how will you play the idea you have in mind. And I think it's what you are needing to work on is your use to think about it in your head and play. Think about it in your head and play, because in fact, when I decide to switch on, it's because I need to play something.
Yeah.
So when I'm playing tongue blocking, it's, for example, for me, the first exercise to learn tongue blocking is to make the boogie scale. And it's really the first exercise I've learned on tongue blocking to discover it, because at the beginning I just played the blues like that. And when I I brought my the tongue blocking in my play, it was really another world, and
Yeah.
it opened some doors, in fact, because at the beginning I played the blues like that. If I play a song I've played when I was a small girl for my first concert, when I was it was 2003, so a long couple of
Wow.
years ago for me now. It was, just a little thing.
Yeah.
And I
Color Red
played it.
wrote that there was a little bit of blue monk in there. That's what I thought too, that you would play
Yeah,
that.
it's called, yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yes, of course. It's the same, but in fact, not the whole melody, but just a little piece. And the
Yeah.
name of this song is Free Reggae High Bop. And that's one of the first songs I've learned in the harmonica classes when I was a girl.
I mean, that's very
And in
advanced already.
yeah, yeah, but now I play it like that. But at this time, I only played single notes really basically. Really like that, really basic thing.
Yeah.
And after, with the years, I've learned to bring some effects, some things. And the first exercise I would advise to make the tongue blocking yours is to work the boogie. because you are working on your time, on the rhythm, and on your precision in the same time, and working, playing like that, turning around, and you will make your own stuff after, and you will bring tongue blocking in your life for me.
Yeah. Just answering for Frank, like the little melody which included that little Blue Monk piece, there was no tongue blocking. There was lip pursing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, but at the end now I do my own stuff, but at the by the past I only played with lip pursing like that.
Yeah. Same for me.
Mm.
And then I had a time where I played like tongue blocking like 100%, and now I'm like only using it when I need to.
Yes,
Nice.
when we discover new techniques, we love to play a lot with them, and after we include in our play
Yeah.
often.
Yeah, just like Dennis Grunling was like a big role model at one point for me. And I knew that he plays everything tongue blocked, and I thought, oh, I gotta do this too if he does it.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah.
That's some challenges.
Patrice hopes that we can play together. I don't know. I mean, we can trade some licks or something. Is there something we can play for the end of the stream?
Yeah, I bet with the delay, how do we do that together?
Yeah,
You play one phrase,
we
I'll
can
play
just
one
trade
phrase.
phrases or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So what harmonica?
I have everything here.
Yeah, me too.
No F harmonica.
Uh,
I hate the F. B flat.
no. Yeah. Okay, that's great. I love that too. Is it your favorite one?
Oh, I think yeah. I think like in terms of like pitch is
Yeah.
my favorite one, but it's also like it's yeah, the best one. The like the customizing is really good on this one.
But that's interesting because a few weeks ago I didn't know that, and I've told to my live streamers that I've composed a new melody a few months ago, and it was in a tune I really love to the harmonica because it's not too low and not too high, and it was B flat.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sounds like a Greg Slap song. That sounds like a Greg Slap song. There's a
Ah,
song.
yeah, that one. Oh, I didn't know that. Ah, so nice.
I don't know what to play.
Oh, I don't know. For example, we
But that
can
was
play
very
one.
similar. We were playing the same song basically.
That's strange.
Yeah. We gotta end this somehow. Color Red is writing Sonia Terry.
Yeah, it's a big influence for me. For my influences, I have Stevie Wonder, for example, a really strong one. Toots Stillmans, of course, and Sonny Terry is a big one too. And after all the harmonicists I can find on my road, but it's true that those Stevie Wonder, Toots Stillmans, and Sonny Terry are I think the stronger influences I kept.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think that was a good ending.
Yeah,
So
I play something
thank you so much
again.
for watching.
Yeah.
The next Hohner live stream will be in 2 weeks, together with Greg Slap.
Oh, great! So nice. Say hello. To
I
him
think I
for me,
never
please.
talked to him to this point, so I'm
Really?
very excited.
Oh, great! You will have a great moment.
So yeah, in 2 weeks from now, I don't know which date is that. That should be like June 18th, same time, 9 p.m. Central European time. Thank you so much, Rachelle, for being part of this
Thanks a
today.
lot, Konstantin. Thanks
If
a
you
lot
wanna check
Yeah.
out more about her, check out the description box below.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, if you wanna hear more of that, buy Rachelle's CDs and
Thanks
check
a
out the
lot.
stream if you can speak French.
Yeah, and thanks a lot, Konstantin, for your invitation.
Thank
It
you
was
for
a
your
really
time.
great
Yeah.
moment. I was very happy to participate and to share this moment with all the persons on internet, the live streamers, the Hohner channel, and you. So thanks a million for that.
Oh yeah. Thank you
It
to
was
Hohner.
really a great pleasure, and I hope we will have the possibility to see us each other on stage on the same
At some harmonica
place.
festival.
So you will
Yeah.
come and we will make some things together. It will be great.
Yeah. I'm sure like at some harmonica festival that would be the case.
Yeah.
So yeah. I can just end the stream now. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.